Travis Joe's Sports Talk. Reggie and I want to make a little short video. Most of you know that I went out to the West Coast and I watched IMG Academy and Mater Dei play in person. It's very, very unique experience. I've seen a lot of huge games, living where we live. The old Etowah Gadsden High games that Cadillac Williams played in. Even the ones where Jimmy Williams played in, when we had Freddie Kitchens, Patrick Nixon, those guys. I've been used to big game atmospheres, but those are kind of local big game atmospheres.
Oh, yeah.
This was a national. I'm talking about straight up Achilles versus Hector. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Did you get that kind of feel? Like, how did you feel like coming into this game?
Watching it on the live stream, the first thing I noticed was the atmosphere of the stadium, inside the stadium. It seemed like a small college type atmosphere game. I mean, it just seemed huge, and I was like, wow. It
was kind of like a JSU, Jasper State University feel, like the stadium, a little bit smaller than that, but there were so many people there. They made the announcement 4 times that in the end zone they had a hill that comes down. You had to jump a rail to get to it. That whole, and you can see on the live stream on here, that whole thing was filled with people and people standing behind them. And they don't allow people to walk at these games. So they're like, you guys have got to disperse and find seats.
Wow.
They didn't. People just kept coming in, and there were people sitting in the aisles, dude. Like, it was crazy, but it was a game where people didn't go to the concession stand. At the end of the quarters, you'd see people run, and you'd see people run back because people was like watching this game. There was no playing. There was tons of people from out of state that I seen. There was tons of people who had any kind of tie to each other. And IMG didn't travel so good to Hoover last year. They had tons of contingency out there. And one of the main reasons was Baldwin, the quarterback at IMG, I believe he's from Rando Cucamonga, I believe, where he played last year before he went and took the scholarship to IMG. He had tons of family there.
Wow.
Well represented. A lot of people was there to see him. Obviously playing against Mater Dei, but watching the game, I went into the game and we put a poll up. Remember that? And the response on that, I think, was.
Had a pretty good response.
It was about 50, would you say 50-50 maybe?
Yeah, about 50.
I think 50-50. A lot of people kind of leaned IMG because they're a little bit closer. We knew a little bit more about them. Then some people were like, nah, on the national level, there's no way they're going to beat them because they're playing at home. The last team who showed up over there with a 40-something game winning streak also went home and lost. And those of you who didn't see the live stream, IMG actually ends up losing the game. The game was 28-24. One of the most exciting football games I've ever seen. When they walked out on the field, there was over 40, I believe it was 41 Division I offered scholarship players on the 2 rosters. Wow. To put that into perspective, that this year, I believe Hoover has 6, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
We're talking 41 between the 2 schools, bro. And Hoover obviously is no slouch.
No.
I mean, dude, IMG, for example, Trey Sanders, #1 running back in the nation. Depending on which website you're looking at, Noah Kane, #2 running back in the nation. Same backfield. You know what I'm saying? Nolan Smith, #1 player in the nation. You know what I mean? Evan Neal, 5-star offensive lineman. So, it's who you're looking at. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and dive into the game a little bit. IMG looked like the better football team.
Yeah, I could see that.
Did you get that feel?
Yeah, I picked Mater Dei in that game, and when I started watching the live stream, and I was like, I probably should have went with IMG.
Yeah.
But
they look like they had better athletes, Trey Sanders had a 70-something yard punt return called back some of the calls were legit, like phantom calls. But IMG also self-destructed on several calls. And pretty much when they ran the ball straight at Mater Dei, there's nothing they could do. They went away from it. They started trying to showcase Baldwin and get him on the edge. He was under duress, all right. Other little things I noticed in the game, the center, and I don't even know the gentleman's name from IMG, he snapped the ball high every night. Every play, all night. So Baldwin's having to go up and catch these snaps all night, all night. And if you remember the first play of the second half, shot over his head for a 20-something yard loss, and Trey Sanders recovered it inside their own 1. That was their opening drive of the second half. That's
not a good way to start.
You can't have that. You're playing a monster on the other side of the field. Yeah. To me, IMG, when they wanted to flex their muscle, they flexed their muscle. Trey Sanders pounded the ball. They could not stop Trey Sanders. He would get tired. Noah Kane would come in. They would not lose the beat. He would pound the ball. Baldwin was under distress, but he's also playing against probably the best DBs in the nation as a collective group on Mater Dei side. On the other side of the ball, I was going to tell you right now, Bryce Young won the football game. He won the football game for Mater Dei, and their play calling, Bruce Rawlinson, their coach out there, won the game. He called a much better game than IMG. His players were more disciplined. 2 of the plays they scored on, one was a tackle eligible looking play. I don't even know it was a tackle eligible. But he was behind the line. They threw it to him, so he don't technically have to be eligible at that point. But it was a tackle eligible type play. They fake the handoff. Quarterback rolls with them, and then they throw back across the field. Nobody's within 15 yards of this tackle. He's just over there like Billy Bob on Varsity Blues, almost identical play. So they score and play like that, and then right after the debacle, snap over the head, and they have to punt out of their own end zone. The very next play, they run a double reverse and throw to the initially fake to the wheel route running down the sidelines, double reverse, pass out of it. Bryce Young hits this guy in stride, number 24, I can't remember his name. Nobody within 10 or 15 yards of him. So they scored on a tackle eligible and a double reverse pass. IMG, they had to work for everything, minus the Trey Sanders probably 60-something yard touchdown run right up the middle. Other than that, they had to sustain drives. Evan Neal, one of the best tackles in the nation, he did his part, but I didn't think IMG blocked very well up front. Did you get that from watching the live feed? Like Baldwin, the quarterback, was running for his life a lot of times?
Yeah, I did see that. And that's why I was, I was kind of back and forth, and I was like, I really don't know who's going to win this one. And, but the things like that, though, you can't win those big games.
You got to be, if you're especially on the road, you've got to be disciplined. You've got to take care of the football, and you have got to execute. And I thought that was the difference in the game. I thought they executed better. The first half, they held Mater Dei to 6 points in the first half.
Wow.
So, IMG goes in the halftime, they're up, they're feeling good about themselves. They scored 22 points in the second half and went out and took the lead on IMG until Trey Sanders ran that one back. I'm telling you this right now, nobody stopped Glenn Harper all night. He was phenomenal. Their running back number 3, probably one of the most underrated running backs in the nation. When they needed a big play, he would give it to them. He kept catching the ball out of the backfield. He was solid. I believe that he's only 5'8", 185, but he runs behind his pads. He runs tough. He catches the ball well. Horace McCoy, he number 5. Really, one of the best receivers I've seen in college football. I don't think he's as good as George Pickens. I would give Pickens a nod because Pickens is longer and rangier. He can go up and get different balls than him. But route running wise, this guy is nasty. Nobody on IMG side could stop him. They doubled him. They rolled safety coverage in behind him. It reminded me of the IMG Hoover game last year where no matter what they did, no matter what coverages they threw out in the second half of that football game, they could not stop George Pickens.
Wow. Do you think Mater Dei took a page out of Hoover's book?
They had to have. And I'll tell you why. Because what they were doing a lot of offset. They were running, they would bring Harper in motion. And what they're doing when they bring him in motion is if he comes out in motion, nobody goes with him, they know they're in the zone. Well, a lot of times people will go with him, so they're like, okay, man on man. And that safety's going to take a step over. All right, so when that happens, and you got McCoy over here, he knows he's got him one-on-one.
Right.
All right, they did that in the first half for a little bit, and then they was like, oh, no, hell no, man, we're going to cut this down. Because they started eating them up. So then they were like, okay. So then I watched when they started playing safety, heavy on him, a lot of these plays would go to Harper on the backside, which is great play calling because they're putting so much emphasis over here, and Harper would either come out a little flare outside of the backfield or they'd get him something going away from him. But the best thing I thought about it all night was even when they were lined up perfectly and they were defending him perfectly, when they had a man on him and a safety behind him, he still got open.
Wow.
But they still had a quarterback to get him the ball. Bryce Young did that all night long. Nolan Smith was not blocked all night. Nolan Smith was in the backfield every single play. In the second half of the game, IMG made a statement that they were not going to rush up the field no more. And I watched Nolan Smith stop doing what Nolan Smith does, which is go for a quarterback. You know what he did? He ran in the backfield and he went into foot fire. He wanted to keep contained. So then they put a rover in the middle of him, right? So now what happens on the back end? Guess who's open?
McCoy.
So it's kind of like you're covering yourself up with a blanket that's not long enough. You're either going to get your neck and your shoulders warm, or your feet's going to freeze, or you cover your feet up and your shoulders are going to be cold. Pick your poison. The reason I say Bryce Young won that game because he's the one creating that headache. He's the one creating that he was calm, he was cool, he's collective. He's playing against some animals, dude. IMG Academy is so fast. They hit so hard. It's hard to explain unless you've ever seen them play. He stepped up. He did it. Coach Robinson, I can't say enough good things about them. IMG Academy, had they played a little bit more under control, they would have won the football game. There's no doubt. I thought IMG played good enough to win. Their undisciplined mistakes, unfortunately, did not allow them to win.
And that's important, and especially in big games like that, you gotta be disciplined. Can't make mistakes like that and shooting yourself in the foot.
Especially against a team who was the national champions last year. You've got to play them like a madman. I mean, you got to play your best game. And after the game, I went down the locker room to talk to Cadillac, and I seen this utter shock on the faces of the IMG players like that. They cannot believe they lost. Like Trey Sanders had his face like this. It's on our YouTube channel. Just watch the one with the 400 views, not the 9,000 views. But watch the short one with the 400 views. You'll see Trey Sanders has got his face like this. He's just bawling, dude. You can ask my wife, like, they were in shock. They lost. They could not, honestly. And you can ask my wife. I told my wife several times walking outside, I cannot believe they lost this football game. They're that much better than them, but it goes back to coaching, and I think that's what won the game. You got anything else on the game, brother?
I don't. I just looking forward to seeing IMG play later on in the year.
We are going to stream IMG Academy and Hoover from Hoover live the whole way. So you guys want to see IMG play and maybe haven't seen IMG play, you will watch them play. It's a very good Hoover football team this year. And you will get to see that same George Pickens play against the same defense again. You'll probably see the same result. They got a different quarterback now than they had last year, but Robbie Ashford's getting better each week, so it's going to be an interesting game. We'll get into picking out numbers when we get a little bit closer. But with that being said, guys, if you watch this video, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the bell to get the notification. This is Average Joe Sports Talk. Good night.